Oh God, I'm so sorry. I never meant for this to happen. I didn't want to hurt you. You didn't want to hurt me? I laughed and it sounded like glass breaking. You didn't want to hurt me. You fucked my husband. You planned it. You hid it. You lied to my face every Sunday when you sat at my table eating my food and playing with my children. You are their godmother, Sarah. You held them as babies. You cut their birthday cakes. They're in your baby books. I know. I'm sorry. You're sorry? You're sorry? I was screaming now, and I didn't care if her neighbors heard. You stole your best friend's husband, and you're sorry? You destroyed 3 children's family, and you're sorry? You made me question my own sanity for months while you were lying to my face, and you're sorry? It just happened, okay? We were talking one night when you were going through that rough patch after the baby, and he was feeling neglected, and one thing led to another. Stop. I need to tell you something that's gonna make you want to throw your phone across the room. My husband just told me I don't look like a woman anymore because I had his babies. My best friend of 15 years, she agreed with him while she was sleeping with him. And here's the part that's gonna make your blood boil. My own family is telling me I'm the problem. Listen, if you've ever wondered how far betrayal can actually go, if you've ever questioned whether you're crazy for expecting loyalty from the people who claim to love you, or if you've ever felt like the whole world is gaslighting you when your life falls apart, this story is going to validate every suspicion you've ever had about how cruel people can really be. Because what happened to me didn't just break my heart. It shattered everything I believed about love, friendship, and family. And by the end of this, you're either going to want to hug me or hunt down everyone who hurt me. Fair warning, this gets dark. And this is going to make you question everyone in your own life. But you need to hear this, because if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. So buckle up. We're about to dive into the kind of betrayal that doesn't just change your life. It changes who you are as a person. And trust me, you've never heard anything like this before. Picture this. You're 34 years old. You've been married for a decade to the man you thought was your soulmate. You have 3 beautiful children who call you mommy and run to you when they're hurt. You gave up everything, your career, your paycheck, your independence, because he convinced you it was what's best for the family. And then, in one moment, your entire world implodes. Let me paint you the picture of what I thought was my perfect life. 10 years of marriage, 3 kids, a 7-year-old who still believes I'm superhuman, a 4-year-old who thinks I hang the moon, and an 18-month-old baby who still needs me for everything. I'm a full-time mom, not by choice originally, but when daycare costs started eating our budget alive, my husband, let's call him David, sat me down with spreadsheets and logic. He said, "It makes more sense for you to stay home. The kids need you. I'll handle the finances." So, I did what millions of women do. I sacrificed. I gave up my career, my income, my identity outside of mommy and wife. And I did it gladly because I believed we were building something beautiful together. But here's what no one tells you about sacrifice. It only works when both people are playing by the same rules. Now, let me introduce you to the other main character in this nightmare. We'll call her Sarah. Sarah has been my best friend since we were teenagers with braces and big dreams. She was there through my first heartbreak, my college graduation, my wedding day. She held my hand in the delivery room when my mom couldn't be there anymore because cancer had already taken her. Sarah is godmother to all of my 3 children. She's the one who remembers their birthdays, who shows up with surprise gifts, and is in every family photo for the past decade. She's beautiful, model beautiful, the kind of woman who turns heads when she walks into a room. But I never felt threatened because she was family. She was my family. Sarah runs her own business. She travels the world, eats at fancy restaurants, has a personal trainer, and lives in a pristine apartment with white furniture that never has crayon marks on it. Everything I used to be before I became someone's mother, someone's wife, someone everything to everyone except myself. But I wasn't jealous. I was proud of her. I was living vicariously through her adventures while I was knee-deep in diapers and goldfish crackers. God, I was so naive. It was a Tuesday night. I remember because we'd had spaghetti for dinner, and my youngest had managed to get more sauce on herself than in her mouth. David came home late from work. Again, nothing unusual. He kissed my forehead, told me I looked tired, and headed straight for the shower. His phone was on the nightstand, face up, unlocked. Now, I need you to understand something. I'm not the kind of wife who goes through her husband's phone. I trusted, completely. But lately, something had felt off. He was distant, distracted, always on his phone, but secretive about it. When I'd walk into a room, he'd quickly close whatever he was looking at. That little voice in your head, the one that whispers when something isn't right, it had been screaming for weeks. So I picked up his phone, and my world ended. The first thing I saw was her name. Sarah. My Sarah. Recent messages, lots of them. My heart was already pounding as I opened the conversation. What I read, I still can't repeat most of it without feeling sick, but there's one exchange that's burned into my brain like a brand.
I can't stop thinking about last night.
Same. When can we do it again?
Your wife suspects anything?
No. She's too busy with the kids to notice anything. Honestly, she's let herself go after the third baby. You're so fucking hot. You actually look like a woman.
She used to be pretty, though.
Yeah, but now? Stretch marks, always tired, never dresses up anymore. You still look like a woman.
You still look like a woman. As if my stretch marks, evidence of growing his children inside my body, made me less human. As if my tired eyes, from staying up all night with his sick babies, made me less worthy of love. As if my C-section scar, from bringing his daughter safely into this world when she was breech, was something shameful. As if everything I'd sacrificed, everything I'd given up, everything I'd endured for him made me less of a woman instead of more of one. I sat there, holding his phone, reading message after message, planning, laughing about me, talking about how easy it was because I never suspected my best friend. My best friend! The woman who was supposed to love my children like her own. The woman who sat at my kitchen table every Sunday, eating the meals I cooked, playing with my babies, letting me confide in her about my marriage struggles. She knew. She knew I was feeling distant from David. She knew I was struggling with my post-baby body. She knew I felt invisible and unappreciated. And she used that knowledge to steal my husband. I screenshotted everything, every message, every photo, every plan they made. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone, but I needed proof. I needed evidence that this wasn't some nightmare I was having. When David came out of the shower, I was sitting on our bed with his phone in my lap. "How long?" I asked. He looked at his phone, looked at me, and I watched his face change. No denial, no scrambling for explanations, just resignation. "A few months," he said, like he was telling me what he had for lunch. "A few months." I repeated it, tasting how bitter those words were. "With Sarah, my best friend, Sarah." "Look, I'm sorry, but what?" I stood up, and I swear I felt like I was floating outside my body, watching this happen to someone else. But what, David? But what do you expect? Look at yourself. Look at Sarah. She takes care of herself. She works out. She dresses up. She has her own life. You don't anymore.
10 years of marriage. 3 children, countless sleepless nights, endless days of putting everyone else first, sacrificing my body, my career, my identity to build the family he wanted. And his response to my pain was to blame me for not being fuck-worthy enough to keep him faithful? "Get out," I whispered. "Come on, don't be get out." I screamed it so loud that my 7-year-old appeared in the doorway, rubbing her sleepy eyes. "Mommy, what's wrong?" And that's when I realized that this wasn't just about me. This wasn't just about my broken heart or my shattered trust. This was about 3 innocent children who were about to learn that the world isn't safe, that people you love can hurt you, that promises can be broken. I blocked David immediately after throwing him out. But Sarah, I needed to confront face to face. I showed up at her pristine apartment at 7 a.m. the next morning. She answered the door in a silk robe that probably cost more than my monthly grocery budget, looking every inch the woman who still looks like a woman. I know. That's all. Just, I know. Her perfect face crumpled. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I never meant for this to happen. I didn't want to hurt you." "You didn't want to hurt me?" I laughed and it sounded like glass breaking. "You didn't want to hurt me. You fucked my husband. You planned it. You hid it. You lied to my face every Sunday when you sat at my table eating my food and playing with my children. You are their godmother, Sarah. You held them as babies. You cut their birthday cakes. They're in your baby books." I know. I'm sorry." "You're sorry? You're sorry?" I was screaming now, and I didn't care if her neighbors heard. "You stole your best friend's husband, and you're sorry? You destroyed 3 children's family, and you're sorry? You made me question my own sanity for months while you were lying to my face, and you're sorry?" "It just happened, okay? We were talking one night when you were going through that rough patch after the baby, and he was feeling neglected, and one thing led to another." "Stop." I held up my hand. "Just stop. Don't you dare make this about me not giving him enough attention. Don't you dare make this my fault." But the damage was done. She'd already said it. He was feeling neglected. During the roughest patch of my life, dealing with postpartum depression, a colicky baby, no help, no sleep, no support, instead of stepping up as a husband, he stepped out. And instead of supporting me as a friend, she stepped in. You'd think that would be the worst part, right? Finding out your husband and best friend betrayed you in the most intimate way possible? You'd be wrong. The worst part was telling my family and realizing that I was completely alone. My sister was the first person I called. Through tears, I told her everything. Her response? "Maybe you should try couples therapy. People make mistakes. You have 3 kids together. You can't just throw that away." I can't throw that away? I didn't throw anything away. They did. My brother was even worse. Look, I'm not saying what he did was right, but that's what men do. They have needs. Maybe if you'd paid more attention to him instead of being so focused on the kids. My other brother, "You're being way too harsh. Sarah's been like family for years. Maybe she just made a mistake." A mistake. A month-long affair with my husband while playing loving godmother to my children was a mistake. But it gets worse. In a moment of rage and desperation, I posted about it on Facebook. Not the details. I'm not that cruel to my children, but enough. Something like, "When your husband of 10 years and best friend of 15 years decide they'd rather be with each other than respect your family. Some people will show you who they really are when you need them most."
The responses nearly broke me all over again. Friends I'd known for years came out of the woodwork with information I wish I'd never learned. Girl, I saw him at dinner with some blonde woman months ago but didn't want to say anything. He was at my gym with a different woman last year. I thought maybe it was a sister or something. Sarah was bragging about this amazing man she was seeing at that work conference. I had no idea it was David. Months, years, this had been going on and everyone knew but me. Everyone saw me being humiliated and said nothing. They let me post happy family photos while my husband was out parading other women around town. They let me gush about my amazing best friend while she was systematically destroying my life. The betrayal wasn't just David and Sarah, it was everyone. Every single person who could have told me the truth and chose to let me live in a lie. So here I am, 34 years old, with 3 small children, no career, no income, no support system, and no idea how to rebuild a life I didn't even realize was falling apart. David wants shared custody while living with Sarah in her perfect apartment. My children are confused and asking why Daddy doesn't live here anymore and why Aunt Sarah can't come over for Sunday dinner. How do I explain to a 7-year-old that sometimes the people who are supposed to love you most will hurt you the deepest? How do I tell my 4-year-old that her godmother chose momentary pleasure over her entire family? How do I protect my baby from growing up in this broken, bitter world? My family thinks I'm overreacting. My friends think I should work it out. Even strangers on the internet are telling me that marriage is hard and people make mistakes and think of the children. But here's what I want to know. When did we decide that women should just accept themselves and women should just be grateful for whatever scraps of loyalty we get? When did we decide that my pain, my humiliation, my complete destruction was less important than keeping everyone else comfortable? So I'm asking you, really asking you, is this just how it is? Are we supposed to sacrifice everything? Give up our bodies and careers and identities, raise their children and keep their homes and stroke their egos, and then just smile and forgive when they decide we're not enough anymore? Are we supposed to accept that our best friends will see our vulnerability as an opportunity instead of something to protect? Are we supposed to believe that boys will be boys and people make mistakes when those mistakes destroy entire families? Because if this is normal, if this is just how men are and what happens in marriage, then I want no part of it. I'd rather be alone with my stretch marks and my C-section scar and my tired eyes, all the evidence of my strength, my sacrifice, my love, than spend one more day pretending that betrayal is something I should just learn to live with. But God, I'm so tired of being strong. I'm so tired of fighting. I'm so tired of feeling like I'm crazy for expecting the people who claim to love me to actually love me. Tell me I'm not crazy. Tell me I deserve better than this. Tell me that somewhere in this world there are people who understand that love isn't supposed to destroy you. Because right now, I'm not sure I believe it anymore.